I know I just made a video. Today the topic I'm going to talk about is genderqueer versus FTM. So, when I was first thinking about my gender originally, I was like, I'm genderqueer, and then I'm like, no, I'm FTM. How it all started is like I was thinking about, does gender even matter? And then I had this big realization, if gender doesn't matter, then why am I transitioning? Why do I want to so badly? And I called my mom and I was talking to her about it, and then I was sitting on the floor of my apartment crying, just thinking about it. Like, I really want to transition, but at the same time I was like, what if I was the other way around? Like, I would probably still want to transition. So what am I transitioning to? Like, I thought I was transitioning from female to male, but it's not cliche, because there are people who really are, their goal is to look more male, and I kind of believe that. I don't like these glasses, so I'm taking them off, but I believe that I was transitioning to male. Like, I convinced myself that I'm transitioning to male, that I'm male, because I don't want people to think of me as female, because I'm not female. And if I'm not female, then I must be male, right? So I tell people I'm a female to male transsexual, that I'm male, so they won't think of me as female. Because I think a part of me was really afraid that if I said, hey guys, I'm genderqueer, they'll say, they just won't know what that is, and I don't really know how to explain it, and they would keep thinking of me as a girl, or as just a girl, and I really don't want to be seen as a girl. I don't know why that is. So I'm thinking about, like, when I first started thinking about gender, I was like, I'm genderqueer, and then I was like, no, I'm FTM. And so for a long time I've been obsessed with being on hormones and top surgery. And I know in my other video I talked about that, the fact that I was going off testosterone and the reasons why. Part of me, I think the main reason I want to go off is because I want to see what I'll look like, and I want to see if I'll look more gender neutral, because I kind of like the idea of looking androgynous, and if I could choose, I'd want to be androgynous. Like, I wish I could just be both at the same time, if I could manifest and be both. And that is what I like about testosterone, that in a way I do have an intersex body, that maybe I wish I was born intersex. It's like, some people might say, how could you wish that? But it's not that bad a thing to be. And so, I'm gonna tell a story of this really great night. It was light up night in Pittsburgh when I was with two of my friends, actually three of them, and we were all dancing really wildly, and I actually wrote something about it. I'm going to look for it and read it, because it's something that's going to be in the book I'm writing. Might as well just look for it on the computer, but because I changed it a little bit, I'm going to put my glasses on so I can find it. And then I'm going to tell a different part of that story that I did not write about, but in order for you to understand the energy of it, I have to read what's in my book. I need to find it. Here it is. Hold on. Alright, this is what I wrote, and I'm gonna talk really carefully because I want it to go through, because even though I know no one's gonna steal my words, and that's one of the things I'm afraid of, but you're not gonna. I want people to hear this, because it was a beautiful night, and I want to pass on that energy. Hold on, I need to see if I changed something, and I need to see if it works. So I'm gonna have to put two videos in because I accidentally closed it out to because I was being stupid and looking to see how it was going through. But I'm gonna read what I wrote now, and then I'm gonna explain. The trees whistle. We have walked in darkness, but there is light somewhere. We'll find it. A blade of glass glistens. The wind whispers softly, betraying stories of people who walked here before us. I sit and listen. The wind whispered. And it's always the quiet ones that tell the most interesting stories. We walk with the wind. He does not want to give up his story, his secrets, but the wind takes them anyways, whistles, swirls them like spirals. It's a dance. We have come to a great dance. The wind swept us away that day. Something about the atmosphere released something in the four of us, and we were free. Free to dance, one with the wind, let the music be the beat of our heart. It was light up night in downtown Pittsburgh. We listened to the Christmas carols, but we ignored that rhythm and danced to our own beat, our bodies moving around wildly as if on drugs, but none of us were. The energy transferred and other people started dancing. Before, they stood like zombies listening to a sermon. But don't you know you're supposed to dance to sermons, not stand there frozen, only out of boredom, for something to do. But something else was with us, some wild thing running in our blood. Something electric and strange, and some of the people danced with us. You could hardly call it dancing in the normal sense. It was as if our bodies were free to move in the way they were supposed to, as if in the wild. Nothing was there to stop us, and we turned like a wheel. It must have looked like we were having seizures, but it was more like we were in a trance-like state, called by the spirits to dance with hour of the blood. I wrote hour of the blood in our body alive, but I think I just meant with the blood in our body alive and breathing, moving vehemently. Then there's just a part where there's a bunch of girls wanting to take their pictures as if you can capture the moment. Then I talk about a part where I lose my phone. Anyway. It doesn't really matter what I wrote, but I was gonna go back to the part of the night that relates to me being genderqueer. There was a part where we were all standing there, and the person who was doing the music said, "Shout if you're male," and then "Shout if you're female," and I only shouted during the male part. My friend shouted during both. And, he somehow knew I'm genderqueer. I don't know how he knew I'm genderqueer, but he said to me that he noticed that I only shouted during the male part. And at the time, I was, part of me was upset that he said, what are we gonna do? Which one are we gonna shout to? Because he somehow sensed that I'm genderqueer. And I'm glad that he did. It made part of me happy, a part of myself that I wasn't aware of, but I still couldn't make myself shout to both, because there's just a voice in me, inside my body, saying, I'm not female. It's I'm not just female. Am I both male or female, or am I neither? And I guess that is the question, what is genderqueer to me? Sometimes I insist I'm neither. If genderqueer is neither, it's I'm not female, and I hesitate to say I'm not male, but really I'm not male either. I don't have a male body. I never really will. I don't even really want to. I don't want to have a female body either, though. I really like the idea of strange, but lately I've just been too strange. But anyways, I'm gonna try to be concise, because this video is about the difference between genderqueer and FTM, and why I decided to be more honest with myself. I think I'm gonna try to manifest more as genderqueer than FDM, because that might be what I am, and it might not be. Like, I might just be FDM. But one of my friends thought I was genderqueer, and I trust him, and I was lately thinking maybe I'm genderqueer, and that was the first thing I thought. Like, I originally decided I'm genderqueer, and then I changed my mind and was obsessed with testosterone and top surgery. And now I don't know if that was just an obsession or what. But so genderqueer is like you can be neither, and you don't really like genderqueer, wanting to use gender-neutral pronouns. But I still want to be called he, so... because part of me is still so attached to being transgender. I'm just so attached to it. And so transgender is, well, I'm male, like my energies are male energies. But is that true? Like, I don't really know if that's true. Like, I don't like these pink glasses that I have, but at the same time, I did pick them out. I must have liked them when I picked them out. Was I just brainwashed then, or was I more myself then? I mean, I don't inherently think it's wrong for men to like pink, but I don't think that at all. I just don't like these glasses. And I have another pair, but they're broken, and I just didn't get them fixed. So, I don't know, but I might have to edit some of this out if I can realize how to do that. But basically, I'm like, there's a difference between genderqueer and transgender. And when I first started transitioning, I was like, I know if I was on the other end, I would still want to transition. So what am I transitioning to? I guess it's like I'm transitioning to have a queer body, to have a body that's different, something that represents more of what my person is. Yeah, that makes sense to me. It makes sense to me to be different in somehow, that in some way I'm different, and it's not really gender, but if I have to choose a gender, I'd just rather not. You know, that's what genderqueer is to me. I'd rather just not choose a gender. I don't want to have to choose, but at the same time, like, I'm so obsessed with the body part of it that I want my body to look a certain way. If I have all of the female parts, doesn't that make me just female? At the same time, I have been on T, and even though I'm going off the changes, a lot of them are still going to be there, and I can still exercise and find natural ways to transition. Like, I have been reading about this, what's it called? This herb called ashwagandha, and it says it acts like testosterone in some ways, and I have herbal teas that have that in it. I'm going to look into getting that. And that might be something you might be interested in looking into if you can't go on hormones yet, but you want testosterone-like effects. That's something that I'm going to be doing. Anyways, that's all I really have to talk about now, just the difference between genderqueer and transgender and what it means to me, and just being more honest with myself about that. Peace out.